What's up everybody, and welcome to the channel. In today's video we're going to take a look at the 2024 Hyundai Sonata Hybrid Limited. This one's finished off in the carbon blue. MSRP is $38,500. So let's get right into this incredibly efficient semi-luxury sedan. Powering the 2024 Hyundai Sonata Hybrid, you're going to find the 2-liter inline 4-cylinder hybrid engine. Net horsepower is about 192 with 139 pound-feet of torque. It's also paired to a 6-speed automatic transmission. Curb weight is 3,600 pounds, and this is a front-wheel drive vehicle. Running on a 13.2 gallon fuel tank, you're also looking at 44 miles per gallon in the city with 51 out on the highway. The overall length is 193.3 inches with the wheelbase at 111.8. Width is 73.2 and height is 57.9 inches. And then now moving on to the exterior styling with the newest generation for the Hyundai Sonata. This hybrid sedan is a pretty cool design overall. You're going to see this massive LED bar, which sometimes will glow white, and then for the turn signals you'll see that amber color. The actual headlights are down below that, all finished off of course in LED. You're going to see the satin silver trim throughout the front. We have a forward-facing camera, parking sensors, safety sensor as well, and then quite a few openings to provide cooling to all the engine components. You can see all the large openings down below. Nice design for that mesh. And there's even a functional cutout on the far side to let air pass throughout around the front tires. Got a pretty unique design overall. I like how the front fenders slope into the front bumper. You're going to see a few sharp body lines throughout that hood and a massive Hyundai badge. Pretty cool design. As we make our way to the side profile, we're going to see the spiral design for the 17-inch wheels. Nice two-tone color as well. Sharp body line throughout this front fender, and then a trim piece on the side, which will also light up. You have some pretty sharp body lines throughout the side profile, body color on the mirror caps, and this carbon blue. In the right sunlight you will see a purple color throughout it. So it's a pretty unique color. Sometimes looks more of a black, but overall pretty neat looking. You're going to see the panoramic roof up on top with all the glass, some silver trim throughout the windows, and then the side profile is pretty typical as you'd expect for a mid-size sedan. Got some pretty sharp body lines cutting through the side profile into the taillights, which has a really unique style, and then some sharp fins up on top of these taillights. Pretty nice integration for all the taillight, and then you can see how you have the massive LED bar going through the entire rear end. You have all your badging along with some silver trim, more parking sensors, badging right in the center, and then some small fins throughout the lower section just to give it a pretty aggressive look. Onto the key fob, you're going to see lock, unlock, remote start, and panic, and then we even have the Hyundai logo built into the design. On the side, you're going to see that smart part feature along with the tailgate release for that trunk. Keeping the key fob in my pocket, I can just grab the door handle. It'll automatically unlock, and we can take a look at this interior. You're going to see the gray leather trim seats with some more gray color all throughout it. So on the door panel, we have some semi-soft touch plastic up on top, some silver trim fading into the release handle, memory seating, Bose audio, then a massive grab handle right in the center integrated into your armrest. We have all your controls from mirrors, lock and unlock, and then some more of this leather material with some stitching throughout the door's insert. Storage down below, Sonata written onto the aluminum door sill, and then all your power controls for the seat. And then on the smooth leather seats, you can see how it's a combination of the smooth and then perforated all throughout the center with a nice pattern and stripe. Very comfortable looking, nice looking overall for this design of the interior. And then we have a 3-spoke gray leather steering wheel with some silver trim. And then now inside the Hyundai Sonata Hybrid, keep my foot on the brake, we can go ahead and fire it up. Both of the LCD screens are going to turn on. On the left side of the steering wheel, we have all of your cruise control settings, along with a few controls to scroll through the screen. And then on the right side, you're going to see some Bluetooth and audio. There are paddle shifters for this automatic transmission. And then on the right stalk, you can see everything for your windshield wipers, and then turn signals over on the left. Moving to the actual gauge cluster screen, you can see the miles per hour on the left with your fuel. Then you have a power indicator, tach, as well as battery. So if I scroll through that center screen, we can see a few different icons coming up, trip information. You can scroll up and down, see some things for engine temperature and tires, your hybrid system, and everything like that. And when you do your turn signals, you will get that really cool camera all integrated. And then on the left side, you can see interior dimming, your battery reset, traction control, trunk release, one of the air vents, there's ambient lighting underneath the screen, and then a heads-up display system. You have some nice soft touch material for the entire dashboard, looking like the leather, and then this cool plastic trim that feels and looks like wood, and then more silver trim for all those air vents. Center infotainment screen is what you're going to expect on all the modern Hyundais. You have a lot of these large tiles you can easily tap into and view all sorts of different information for the vehicle. Going into the hybrid screen, you can see a lot of info of exactly how the car is performing. You can go back to your home icon, full screen navigation, all the audio controls, and then if we go ahead and put the car into reverse, we got a backup camera with our top-down view. We can also take a look at the 360 camera view, really good feature to have. And then going back to your normal one, if I go into drive, you have that front view camera popping up, and then just tapping the P button, we're back into park. Underneath all that, you're going to see some physical controls for shortcuts for the screen, and then climate is always down below. So you can easily sync your dual zone temperature, make all of your adjustments. Heated and ventilated seating, you can easily toggle all of that. And then we have our fan speed in the center, different zones, heated steering wheel, very simple layout. And then down below we have a few different plugs, and you can toggle if you wanted to do charging or auxiliaries as well. Wireless phone charging and storage, more storage and cup holders throughout the center. And then we have a few drive modes. You do have a sport one, a customized one, and then your eco. We have the auto hold, and then a nice armrest padded, and you can even open it up with a little bit of storage down below. Glove box on the right side, as you would expect, a large bucket. And then one last look at the interior. It's a nice interior. You can definitely see some of a luxury design, and yet this is a pretty affordable car. And then you can see the massive sunshade for that sunroof. All your controls up above with different dome lights and a thin mirror. Moving on to the rear seat space, if I grab the door handle and open it up, the door panel is finished off just like we saw up front. You have that same insert with the cool stitching, grab handle similar, nice padded armrest as well. There is a very nice manual sunshade, which is great to see. And then the seats have the same smooth leather along with perforated leather throughout the center. You can see 3 people back here, and then the center, you can pull this down and you're going to see a nice armrest along with 2 cup holders. There's also going to be air vents back here, 2 USB ports, and then just a little bit of storage behind the passenger seat. So hopping into the back seat now with the Sonata Hybrid. I'm 5'11" sitting here with a driver's seat at my height, and honestly I have great amount of footroom and legroom, good headroom, a couple inches up above, and my armrest is nice on the left side with plenty of glass surrounding. So for a mid-size, you know, some cars in this category are going to be a little cramped. This feels like a really comfortable sedan. The seat recline too is really angled, so this is actually a pretty nice car to be in. Moving on to the trunk storage space, there's going to be a button right next to your backup camera. Tapping that, it's going to automatically pop all the way open, and then you have a ton of storage space in here. It's nice and squared off with cutouts on the left and right side to really make this pretty practical. And then the floor, you have a little cutout you can grab, and you're going to see some extra storage space all throughout it. From here, you can even pull these, and it's going to automatically unlock the seats. And with them down, you can see a nice pass-through into the cabin to give this even more storage space. They're going to fold down nice and flat, and that opening is pretty large into the trunk to make this very practical for people as well as cargo. So setting off now in the Hybrid Sonata full throttle sport mode, and right up to the speed limit really easily. So honestly, this engine configuration still is pretty peppy. In sport mode, when you take your foot off the gas, you will feel the regenerative braking a little bit stronger. Eco mode, it'll coast more like a typical car. So in this now, getting my bearings, visibility is great as you would pretty much expect on any normal sedan. Looking over your right shoulder, left shoulder, everything. Lots of glass, so really easy to see around. Seats are pretty comfortable. It feels really roomy in this car. I mean, I have no issues just sitting here racking up the miles for a long time. Suspension also rides really nice. You can tell there is some luxury in this car with the way it tackles bumps. It just kind of floats over things, so it's a really comfortable car to drive. You do hear just a little bit of wind noise in general. It's not a lot, but I just noticed that just a tad. Other than that though, pretty quiet vehicle to be in. Ergonomics are also pretty nice in this car. It's really easy to use. Of course, I love physical climate control so much better than having to dive into the screen every time. So it's nicely laid out. And then the way it drives pretty solid. Taking some long sweepers. The steering has some good weight. There's not enough power to really give you any torque steer, so you're not going to feel the drivetrain through the steering. And then the hybrid integration, you can't ever tell that it's working. I really like, you'll notice the tachometer right there is at 2,000 RPM. If I start coasting again, it's gonna go into the EV mode right there. It'll say it on the dash. And right now the battery is driving the electric motor. The engine's not even on. Giving it a little bit throttle, the engine now turned on. Couldn't hear it, couldn't feel it whatsoever. So the hybrid integration is really, really smooth, better than a lot of other hybrids. And then if I toggle through my own driving to see how I've been doing in this car, it gets really good gas mileage. I've been averaging 44.8, and that is with me stepping on it, playing around with this for a little bit in the video. But I still have almost 200 miles of range, and I am well over a quarter tank. So it's a pretty efficient car, a pretty nice place to be. And given it's way under 40 grand, I mean, this is not an expensive car, and this is a loaded car with all the features you could imagine. So definitely not a bad hybrid option to go with. I think you really do get quite a lot. Use of storage all works really well. And then tackling this big bump, I mean, that just floated through that. That is so nice. I think the build quality is pretty good in these cars as well. Hyundai has really stepped it up in the last decade, and nowadays, I mean, I don't think you can go wrong with just a really good value for what you're buying and what you're getting. And if you want a nice, comfortable sedan that's incredibly economical and luxurious at the same time, this might be the best way to go. So my honest thoughts now with the Sonata Hybrid, had this for several days now. It is crazy to drive a car that is this economical. I mean, I don't know when I would ever have to fill this car up, getting over 600 miles on a small fuel tank. So it is cool to see that type of efficiency. Obviously, you can buy electric cars where you never fill up, although it is incredibly inconvenient. Charging, they're way more expensive too. So this seems like just the best way to go. If you are truly looking for a daily driver, commuter car, economy car, but you want something that's actually nice, I mean, this is a way to go. It's luxurious to drive, it feels nice, it has all the expensive luxuries that we're used to seeing in way more expensive cars, honestly. So the fact that we do have the heated and ventilated seating, the full nav, the heads-up display, leather throughout the interior, heated steering wheel, I mean, there's pretty much every bell and whistle that you could imagine in any nice normal car in this for under 40 grand. So I feel like value-wise, you get a lot for the money. Hyundai really does a great job giving you a feature-packed car, and the Sonata Limited is no shortage. I mean, you have all the features you're going to want, and to back it up, it is nice to drive. I think that's one of the biggest things that I like in a car. I want a car that when I can drive it, it is smooth, comfortable, the seat fits me well, something that I can just rack up miles if I'm doing, hour type of driving where I'm going very long distances and not be fatigued, not be tired. The radar cruise control, the lane keeping, all that works really well in this. So if you're doing a lot of highway driving, you're not going to get annoyed with bumper to bumper traffic. The car is going to do it for you. So this is definitely a way to go if you're looking for just a good commuter car. I don't think there's really much things better. I will have to test this directly with a new Camry, which is also a fantastic choice. Probably the two best options in this category, same pricing, a lot of the same features. So there is some good competition in this class, but I think you can't go wrong if you go with a Hyundai. The styling, it's a little quirky looking, definitely a little on the weird side. Hyundai has made their designs a little more bold, a little odd compared to a more conservative style of a car, but nonetheless it still looks pretty neat. Interior feels luxurious, it looks really nice. There are some plastics, like this is just plastic, the silver's all plastic, but again, when you take into consideration the price point, I mean, you'll be in a $80,000 Mercedes and the wood is still plastic, so you can't really fault it for any type of material issues. So I think for the money, this is definitely something to look at, and across the spectrum, you can even get one with a few less options for closer to 30 grand. So I think incredibly affordable, very economical, and it's spacious. The back seats are actually comfortable, the trunk's huge. You can truly use this for a family sedan even, and it's not that big to where it's hard to place. And normal driving experience, I mean, nothing really gonna blow your socks off. It's a nice normal car, there's nothing too crazy about it, but I like how it has enough power to get up to speed, and really just drives like a pretty good overall car. So those are my thoughts with the 2024 Hyundai Sonata Limited Hybrid. If you're looking for a good, economical, nice sedan, this is definitely something to take into consideration. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button to stay tuned for plenty more content, and I'll see you all in the next video.